Hello and welcome back to another session with Atomica Masterclass Premiere, in which guided surgery made easy and simple. I am Dr. Omar Yasser, and I'm the product specialist at Atomica AI, and today we're back with another simple case demonstrating the utilization of Atomica software suite in planning and designing surgical guides powered by AI. So today, if you downloaded our software, you will be able, this session will be able to assist you on how to utilize the software suite. And if you did not download the software, this will be a head start for you, and will assist you to learn more about Atomica. So to make it easy for those who did not start with Atomica, so let me sign out first to help you how to access our software. So first of all, you need to do, this is the first UI you're gonna land on once you start the software, the Atomica Implant Planner. So to be able to have access to it, it's either you have to sign up from here, or if you have a Gmail, you can connect with Gmail and you will have immediate access to the software. So let me connect my email pretty quickly. I missed the M right here. And let me log in. So let's take a simple case together. So our software, as you may know, supports single DICOM files and multiple DICOM files. As you can see here, I can select any DCM file and will render the files all together to show a quick preview of the X-ray scan. So on the right-hand side you'll see the information of the patient along with the information of the scanner used to take that scan. And on the left-hand side, you can see that you can edit the patient information and birth date, of course. So the very first step that we need to do is to create a project where everything else made or done will be saved on that file. So it's saved under the name, under the format of our company, which is Atom file. So we can save that and tap on Adjust DICOM. So once we tap on Adjust DICOM, it will take us to the next step where we might edit the orientation of the scan if it was tilted a little bit to the right or to the left, or the patient moved while taking the scan. So make sure everything is centralized and in the correct position. As you can see here, these are the three different aspects or cross sections that you can utilize to edit the orientation of your scan right here. Right, left, up and down, or the angulation. I can crop out any unwanted scans from here if I want to, but what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna reset all the adjustments as I think it's in the perfect position. So let's go ahead and start planning. So let's check out what we have here. So what we have missing here is a lower left first molar, which is tooth number 19. So we're gonna select the tooth of interest from the left chart, demonstrating right here. And as you can see, as long as I'm selecting the tooth, and the lower arch mandibular curve turns on down here. So once I select the mandibular curve, it would automatically draw the panoramic curve for me. Not only that, I can do my manual adjustments if I wanted to add points by clicking on the left click on the mouse, and I can also remove points by tapping on the right click on my mouse, as you can see. So as long as we're planning on the lower arch, of course we need to trace the nerves. So it's pretty easy to trace the nerve. It's here supporting the manual way, but later on our software will be releasing a new version that will help you to trace the nerve automatically. So first of all, I'd like to use the panoramic view to assist me first from here. As you can tell. So let me check the cross section after that. Okay. So I guess this needs to be here. Okay, let's add another point here. We're gonna place that like here. We're gonna bring that here. Maybe that's error in the scan itself. Okay, so let me bring that right here and bring that right here. And we can adjust the diameter accordingly to make sure it fits the outline of the nerve. So when we check that out, make sure I guess we need to pull that here. So, yeah. So we're good to go. We can check that from the 3D view as well. Make sure that we drew the nerve, trace the nerve in a good manner. So once we're done, we're gonna tap and finish. And we're gonna go ahead to the next step to start placing or importing the model to our scan. So what we need here is a lower model. And on a side note, our software supports STL and OBJ and PLY, all the 3D formats. So we're having here a quick preview of the model. So the only option that we have is lower model, as we're only planning on the lower arch. So once I tap on load model, you can see that the software will perform automatic model matching using the power of AI. So let's see how the results will be. Okay, so let me check the results from the 2D views. So I'll make that full screen so we can all see that. The results, I guess it's perfectly fitted from the occlusal view or from the axial view. So let me take another cross section and I guess the matching is perfect. Let me check the last view right here. Amazing. No need any kind of tweaks. I don't need to add or do anything. But in case you have the model not perfectly matched to the scan, you can use the 3 dots right here to use the conventional way to match the model to the scan. As you can see here, I can use the dots by choosing corresponding points. I can even sync the camera, so when I move, they can move in synchronization, as you can see here. Of course, it's perfectly fitted. We don't need to ruin that. There's another good thing that our software is offering as well, that if I set that off a little bit like that, I can utilize the optimized fitting feature to help me bring the model back to fit the scan perfectly. As you can see, it brought my model back into place. And I can use that more than once. The more you use that feature, the different the results might be. So I might able to use that feature several times. So if we also have another model, which is the upper model. So we can start and add and import that if you wanted to check the occlusal relationship with the lower one, of course by selecting antagonist, and relatively match that with the lower model. Let me like that. So we're going to start adding our implants, but before we add our implants, we can add our virtual crown first. So let's go ahead and hide the upper jaw right here. and adding our virtual crown. As you can see here, this is the concerned tooth that we're working on. So once we tap on that, you'll see that our software will immediately place the virtual tooth automatically. Of course, also using the power of AI. So let's see the results here together. So wow, I think I'm pretty satisfied with that kind of results. That might need a bit of tweaking right here. So we can tilt that a little bit to the lingual. And maybe a little bit of rotation from here. So I don't think it needs a lot of tweaking. I guess it's perfectly placed. Maybe a little. So let's go ahead and add our implants. So we have a bunch of available implant vendors right here that you might find the system that you usually work with. So let's go ahead and go with Nobel this time. Let me go ahead with Nobel active. I'd like to use, let's start with 3 to 10. I'd like to add it personally on the panoramic view and then view the tangential, as it provides me the feature of centric. It puts my implant in centric position so I can go around it, as you can see here. I adjust the mesiodistal view first and the angulation to follow the anatomy of the bone. I can bring that a little bit down here, but I'm keeping in mind the lingual concavity, as I don't want to violate that here. So let's check that on the emergence on the 3D view right here. So I guess I'm pretty satisfied with that. So you can also add an abutment by tapping on the 3 dots right here. You can also change the name according to the tooth numbering right here. You can add the abutment by tapping on add abutment. You can, if you wanted to make it angled, you can edit the parameters from here, the extension of the collar height of the abutment. Let me make sure it's edited. Perfect. So let's go ahead and add the sleeving to it. So the very first option that comes up when it comes to sleeving is the option of the system that's compatible with the implant system that you selected in the very first place. So we selected Nobel BioCare Active, so the surgical kit that's available under that is the Nobel Active as well. So we're going to go with the guide type depth control and apply the sleeve. So let me hide the skull so we can see that on the 3D view. Let me hide a tooth as well. And let's set the sleeve in the correct sleeve where it will give me and provide me with implant placement control. Perfect. So the IPC right here resembles implant placement control. And why is it perfect? Because it's cleared away from the soft tissue and bone. So I guess the sleeving for that is pretty in the perfect place. So we don't need to adjust the sleeving. It's also providing me with IPC, which is perfect. So I'm going to save that to make sure that my plan is saved. And last but not least, I can generate a report that shows me all the information, or shows all the information about the plan briefly right here, showing different cross sections of the scan and also the plan products with the implant components used and dimensions and the type sleeves that you selected on that plan, and whether it supports the drill depth control or the IPC or not. And last but not least is the drilling protocol right here. You can export that into PDF if you wanted to share it with a colleague or your own lab. You can save that into PDF, and that's it. You can export that report. So right here, we're done with our planning. So let's go ahead and start designing our surgical guide. So by doing that, we can see the shortcut launching the Atomica design from down here by only tapping on that, and it will automatically load up the guide design software with the plan cases that we just planned together. Perfect. So this is our case. So let me hide the upper jaw because we don't need it currently. As you can see here, this is our plan with the model. So it's very simple to generate the guide simply by tapping on the model. As you can see here, the generate guide lights up. So we tap on that as well. And as you can see there is a brush in hand. So I can start highlighting where I want my guide to be seated. So this is my area of interest. And I can change the size of the brush by using the scroller on my mouse. And by tapping on control, I can start removing to refine. My highlighting right here, as you can see. And remove all these like that. Just I'm clearing it away from the undercuts. So that's why. Okay, perfect. So once we're done with highlighting that, once we're done with that, you can actually utilize the parameters down here, but it's actually presetted in the default settings. So if you wanted to change that according to your 3D printers, you can do that. And if you're actually planning a tissue guide, so you need to change the guide type in case this is a denture. So we change that into mucosa guide right here, and it will turn a denture into a guide. But by selecting teeth or bone, it will actually generate a new guide on top of your model. So also, if you wanted to block out the undercuts, there's two features that our software is offering. It's either automatically blocking out your undercut or manually by selecting the direction from which you're looking at the model. So the perspective in which it's going to block the undercut is the perspective at which you're looking at the screen. So if we selected or chose that direction, it will block out the undercut in the wrong position. So we need it to be more centralized like that to be able to block out the undercut in a favorable way. But we can choose the automatic feature, as our automatic feature is actually tested and it's actually bringing out good results. So I might use that right now and click on generate. So when I select generate, two products will be generated. One is the surgical guide, the other one is a model with a blocked out undercut. So let's see that together right here. As you can see here, this is the result. This is the model with the blocked out undercut, and here is our guide. So if we're done with that and we wanted to export that into an STL file, simply by right-click on the guide right here, teeth on the left-hand side, and you right-click and you export. And you can export that into STL, OBJ, PLY, whatever 3D format you'd like to save it by. So we named that guide teeth number 1, and we can save that, and your STL file is ready. I need to log in because to be able to export that, because I'm using an offline. But this is the idea on how you can export that. And if you wanted to personalize that a little bit more, you can use, there's another feature that I like to use right here. It's called labeling, that I can personalize that if I wanted to name it under our company, for example. Selecting the area like that. So if you take that box, it will engrave inside your guide. If you uncheck it, it will emboss out, as you'll see right now. So there you go. This is it right here. So it's pretty simple to generate a guide out of our software. Of course, there's a bunch of other features, like on the left-hand side, you can see these are the mesh mixer tools. They also might help you if you wanted to utilize anything in the regarding the mesh. And there's a lot of other tools if you wanted to make like a window or a box inside of the guide, inspecting windows to make sure that the guide is perfectly seated. You can use the cutting feature right here. So let me try showing a quick example. Like if we made a square right here and we apply cropping, we'll be able to make an inspecting window. So that's pretty much it. Well, if you have any kind of questions, you can reach out through info@atomica.ai or support@atomica.ai. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the session, and we're waiting for your questions and your feedbacks. Thank you. See you again another time.